integral activities, we want to integrate not only speaking theory and the map, but some practice. So we often begin with some kind of practice. The universal one is the silence. We can begin with this. So because it's observed in all the schools since the beginning of days, just to remain silent for a while. Each one can express innerly our own individual type of prayer or wish or positive thinking or thankfulness, and to ask for the right information to come to us tonight, knowing that the truth is revealing itself through many people. In each one of us we have a little piece of the big truth. So we decided tonight to speak and exchange about success and what can make our project to lead to successful development. Can you say, each one of you, for example, with one or two words, what will be for you success?
Hidden failure.
Hidden failure. Very good, okay.
What did you say?
Hidden failure.
Deep philosophic representation of success.
My first thought was happiness.
Someone else?
Yeah, I was thinking about feeling worthy, or
how feeling?
yeah, worthy, that you're or valuable. I don't know.
Feeling worthy, okay.
I was thinking about harmony.
Harmony.
For me, it's being present.
Okay. Great. We can observe success through the eyes of Stephen Covey, and especially we will do a little synthesis of his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Efficient People. His task was to observe, to study success from a scientific point of view. So what he did was to start studying the successful projects. Guys like Napoleon or other just projects which led to visible success. Up to one point at least. We have some principle of success, same as we have principle for correct nutrition, for harmonious lifestyle, family, etc. So there are principles of success no matter if we call them principles, if we believe in them, if we ignore them, if we hate them, just the history shows that people who were applying these principles achieved success in their activities, and vice versa. The people who don't apply the principles, they don't achieve success. That's why we want to talk about Stephen Covey and the book The 7 Habits of Highly Efficient People, where he described some of these principles. What I like is that in this book he's not even giving you the principles. He's not pointing them, but he's only giving exercises about how to discover the principles inside yourself. This really took me about this approach, because we have them. We have them inside ourselves, and these are the universal principles. So they're accessible. And let's just see. So on the end he extracts 7 and we even talk about an 8th one, an enigmatic one. He's calling them habits, but in fact it's not really habits, it is really character. So first we speak about the behavior of personality and of character. So there are like 2 different schools. Some teachings, they will show you how to behave. So these are all these skills, for example, like the sandwich technique, or how I can move, how I can behave. And nowadays it is all over the place, this with the social medias, with this superficial moment when we think that we are learning something, but in fact we are just lading on very superficial information. We are not able really to profit from depth. So there are ways how I can behave to pretend to be rich, wealthy, successful, how to speak to people so I can charm them. But this on a long term, it will not gonna work. It is just for short-term profits. And the idea of these habits are that we really need to develop the personality, the character. So when we adopt this, we are this type of person. We are a successful person. So he separated them. The first 3 is he calls them the inner victories. And then the second 3 are the outer victories, because the first 3 are really, we need to work inside ourselves to develop this character, and then after we master, we can directly make the integral relation with our spiritual, our integral spirituality, when we cannot enter into state of awareness before mastering the self-discipline, the cleansing, the cleaning, the serving the higher reality. On the same way, we cannot go to, like, we cannot create a beautiful and successful family with non-successful members of the family. We cannot create a successful society with which only composed by kind of losers, in fact. So we need to begin from inside and going toward outside. So here we have the main groups of spiritual practice: self-discipline, purification, serving, and then we can enter in energy development, prayer, meditation and awareness. And here we have the first one, which is proactivity. Or move, or you will be moved. Or you are proactive, you do things, or you will just follow, and someone will oblige you anyway to do things. So it is a choice, or you do, or you will do anyway, but not exactly the things you want to do. And here it is giving this practice. So we have our circle of interest and our circle of influence. So this is a circle of interest, and this is the circle of influence. So these are the things Filip is interested about, but these are the things where Filip really can influence and change. I could be interested about the war in Ukraine, but I cannot do much, except I can devote myself to this, and then I will have a bigger influence. But the idea of this practice he proposes is to find where is your center of influence, where you can really be the master. You can influence a lot. So the principle is that when you spend your time and energy in your center of influence, your circle of influence grows bigger and bigger. So you extend your circle of influence, your area of influence. You get more powerful. And the opposite, more time and energy you spend in your interest zone, where you cannot really change the things, then your zone of influence gets smaller and smaller. For example, I can stand all day in the bar and discuss how bad is this politician or another politician, or I can all day write in Facebook this and that, or I can just act in my life. I was having a very, very profitable job in Switzerland. They were paying me very, very well. And I see that I cannot really influence there the people, because we cannot have this integral frame on complete. It was a lovely place. We are still super friends with the people from there. But then this was for me really, I'm very thankful to this moment and to these people, because I started thinking, where is my center of influence? I understood that this is my center of influence, this tree, this post here. Like in this room, I have more power upon the circumstances, upon the rules. That's why I decided to just come back and to start staying here, and proposing this integral environment, because here I can really, for example, I go to my mom's place and there I cannot influence her nutrition. But when she comes here, even my nearest people, my mom, my sister, when they come here, they're influenced and they adopt this nutrition, which is a big proof to me. When the opponents of Mahatma Gandhi in the parliament, they were staying and just talking how stupid is he and how impossible is what he is trying to do. He was just traveling through India and working with the people and really pointing the center of the Indian tradition, really hitting the heart of the tradition, the fourth level of consciousness, what we're gonna speak on the vertical aspect. So he achieved the impossible, that the crown of England is spitting the diamond of the crown, like England gave freedom to India. So, and the concrete practice Stephen Covey is proposing here, it is really to don't leave ourselves as a victim, because every time I say I can't, I must do this, or I'm obliged by the circumstances, it means that I am not powerful enough to be proactive and to change my environment. So in our principles here we have also our integral principles, values, and how Pashkulev said it is accept with humility your inner and outer reality in the present. Change it constructively with awareness and discipline. Which means I am okay, I forgive myself, I accept Filip and his environment as they are right now. But does not mean that I will leave this to be that way. I will keep working so I can transform Filip and his environment for better and better. So the idea is for 1 month to don't say I can't, to don't say I must, to just avoid these words for the people. And this really, to me, I started with 1 month. I am still on this practice because it's very good feeling. So of course we need to feed the chickens. It is necessary to look after the horses, but it's not a must, it's not obligation, it's my choice to do this because I play this role of horse keeper or of father of my daughter, etc.
So if when Stephen Covey is talking about proactivity, it's really about because you can also be proactive in things you're not really interested in. Like if I see that the bathroom is dirty, I can clean it. That's also proactive. Like I see that it needs to be done, so I do it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's in my circle of interest, right? But is that also the proactivity that he's talking about, or is it more like if I'm interested in permaculture, for example, that it is within my circle of influence to read more about it? Is he talking more like a more deeper level of interest instead of more the superficial daily life proactivity?
This is something that came up as a question to me as well, so thank you for it.
So if we look, it is from the next habit, what we saw yesterday, the 4 quadrants of Covey. So you have urgent and important, urgent, no important, important, non-urgent, and non-urgent, no important. To clean the bathroom, it is urgent and important. It is part of our hygiene here. So this is just something we need to do. And it's a proactivity to clean it. It's also a proactivity to put the question on the table, what we did tonight. Listen, people, let's clean the bathroom. And the other, in the integral approach, we say, learn a lot from less and learn a little bit from a lot. So the idea is, for example, if you want to focus on permaculture, then devote your life to permaculture and deepen this knowledge maximum, but develop enough depth of knowledge of all the integral topics. And there are not so many that you can count them. You know, you have the human health and prophylaxis, natural medicine, how to be healthy and how to help people around you. You have ecology and ecological agriculture, permaculture, how to produce food without harming yourself, the others, or in the environment, and how to understand the main principle, how it works. You have psychology, forgive myself, forgive the others, and be able to understand each other. We have pedagogy, how to transmit the information and how to open the people with knowledge so they transmit the information to me. Then we have mutual aid. The others are less and less important. So from these main topics, you need to have enough level to be able to communicate with specialists. Like this, they don't cheat you when you pay someone to do what you cannot do, and you can profit from these specialists. In fact, that's what the politicians are supposed to do, to have teams of specialists and take decisions based on what is good for everybody. But this depends on the vertical level of consciousness of these politicians, which we will talk after.
Let's see if I understood it. So productivity, first of all, it needs to be of your area of influence, and then it's good if you follow the chart with urgent, important, urgent.
We will see in a moment for the chart, it's from the next habits. But yeah, to find your center of influence, where you can really, when you act, then it will, from the ethology, the science of behavior of animals, now it's jumped out the name of the guy who wrote the book, but it says the chimpanzee will not bite the broom. So you can enter in the cage of the leopard with a broom and protect, to change the water of the leopard. The leopard will bite the broom. The chimpanzee will only bite where it will be blood. He will never bite the broom because it's very clever. So to be proactive in your center of influence, it means when you act to achieve result. To be proactive in your center of interest is just to spend your time and energy for something which will not change. It does not depend from you. So
so be proactive with focus.
First, find where is your center of influence, where you are powerful, and this should be also if what is your interest to develop in your life. About what she said, should I be proactive in what I want to develop very deep? Yeah, and we should be enough proactive to learn the other topics so we can even be better in what we do.
Okay, I understand.
But is by being proactive, when it's not in your circle of influence, it can also make your circle of influence bigger. like what I'm thinking is I was just came to mind like Greta Thunberg,
Oh, this
the
girl.
Swedish, because like what she did.
She did it
She-
in
she-
Sweden.
Yeah, but she's achieved like so much more than you would say from a point of distance. Like this is your circle of influence. You're a school kid, and then she's like striking.
Yeah,
But it's like her circle of influence has grown so much
Yeah.
more.
yeah, because
just
she found the
because
center.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
she stopped it going at school in Sweden with a family which will why it's not an Iranian girl trying to they are not allowed to go to school but a Bulgarian girl you know it's because it's in Sweden it's with this type of family which will support her and yeah it grows but she was acting exactly here
From her center.
yeah because that's what she can do the only thing
Yeah.
she can do is stop going at school and make this
Yeah.
so the second is about planning or we say in the beginning know about the end so it's it can be one day it can be one afternoon it can be a whole your life the idea is to enter in the activity having a concrete picture about what it's gonna look on the end. Of course, we are open for the destiny and for the impreview. There is even this spiritual formula which say, let it be, let it be on a way I don't know.
I thought you were gonna sing a Beatles song.
And but still, the only way is to, because if I go without whatever happen, then the whatever will happen. But if I have a precise plan, then there will be a little change. We know from the dragon dreaming that in one moment we have a dream, but to attract more people we need like to abandon our dream. It means that for example, this place is the dream of Filip, but if I want to make a community, I need to take a step back and to allow the others to express and to build a new dream, which will be the dream of everybody, which will not be the same like the dream of Filip, but still I don't lose the focus, the final picture about how it looks. So the practice Stephen Covey is proposing here, and I really invite you to do it. It is, we visualize, like we close our eyes, and we imagine that it's a beautiful sunny day, and we are invited for a funeral. And then we go with the car and we park in the graveyard, and then we go out and then we see friends and people we know, and everybody is a little bit sad. And then we enter in this hall, there are chairs, everybody is sitting on the chair, and their chair. In the front there is this, I don't know how it's called, the box.
Casket.
The box with the dead person. The casket?
Casket, yeah.
The casket. So you go there to express your respect, and then you see that inside this, it is you, in fact, because this is your funeral. And then one by one the people, they go on the stage and they share. They share what a person was Filip, in my case, what a person was you. And then we need to write down what they say. So we can make a little table. We make like family, friends, colleagues, even we can add enemies. Like there is one of my, which was my enemy in my life. He came to the funeral also. And then here we have character, we have achievements, and we have another, which is contribution.
What's the first word?
What was the character
Okay.
of Filip, what Filip contributed for, and what he achieved in his life. And then I really write down, for example, my daughter stand on the stage and she say, Filip was this type of person, he was having this character, he contributed to this, he achieved this. And you write what you would like to hear, what you would really be pleased to hear. Because I will not be pleased to hear he never had time for me and he was an asshole. So this just brings us back exactly to these deep values, to these deep principles which are
Sorry, the last word.
Achievements.
character, contribution, achievement.
Thank you.
What we achieved. And then family, for example, the friends, the colleagues, one of the enemies or something. And this way, after with this, when we have all this down, we can construct what Kovi is calling the testimonial for my inner
Personal mission.
for a personal mission of my life. And you write it down. What is the mission of my life? What Joanna will do in this life? On the way that when you are old, when you turn around, you're happy from these last decades because you spend your lifetime doing the things which will make you happy on the end of your life. And satisfied. Here about the happiness we have another table because this is also very relative, what is happiness. So really in the beginning know about the end. So this morning, as we do here, we have a morning meeting and we share what we want to achieve during the day, what had changed since yesterday. And then in the evening we give a feedback how it was. Then we have prioritizing, which means let the first thing be really first, or let the important things to be first. So exactly that's how we prioritize using this table. We prioritize the second quadrant and we try to steal time from third and fourth and invest it into the second. So again, just to refresh, the first are our tasks which are urgent and important, so we need to do them. But careful with the third, which is urgent and non-important things, which the people are urging you to do. We check if it's important for them, then with empathy we can help them. But careful, because better to learn a person to catch fish instead of giving them fish every day.
Yeah.
That's why, okay, once, twice to help, but and really these urgent, non-important things, it's proven that the people who achieved success, that's why we put so much importance here about to say to the others also to keep clean and all this, because it's really to ascend, to give tasks to other people. It is nobody achieved a large success without being able to give tasks on a way the other they accept the tasks and they do it properly. So we try from this, which is urgent and not important, to make other people do it. Of course, you need to make them happy and rewarded for a while because they do it. And because more time we spend here, more we'll get exhausted and we'll go just in the bar to have 5 beers. Mm-hmm. And more time invest here, for example, to check the oil of my car, to learn playing flute, to get to spend, for example, more time with my parents, which are older. These are things which are not urgent, nobody's urging, but they are really important, and I will regret if I don't spend this time with them.
You can also, I think, because something that's for me in quadrant 3, which is urgent, but to me not very important, like if I should give the plants water, but like I don't really care about the plants. It can be like in the first one for Boyan, right?
Yeah.
So if it's like
It's very
urgent,
personal.
but it's not important for me, it could also ask like, is there someone else who... Doesn't that also work?
If it's
within
in
a
community,
group
you
then?
mean?
Yeah.
But because you don't care so much about the plants, this is, I mean, it should be clear in the community,
Yeah.
are these plants important or not important?
Yeah.
So if it is for the common interest that these plants, they survive, it
So
means...
then it's this important to me as well. It should be.
What we need to do here really is to install a drip irrigation, which
Yeah.
is not urgent, but it's important,
Yeah.
because this will release this
Yeah.
this urgency to water them, and to put automatic irrigation and to make all this automatic system. What we did today, basically. Maybe that's why I'm so happy these last days, because these last days we are in the second quadrant. We do these gardens, we release the nurseries, we plant in the ground, we install the drip irrigation, so all these things which will make our life easier and the place growing.
But if you have this feeling that something is unimportant to you while it should be,
Yeah.
you can't really do anything about that, can you?
But it's like if you live together with other people, it's good to address like, okay guys, I have this task, but it's like so not important to me that I find it hard to motivate myself to do it.
We'll see, these are the outer victories, all which is related with the people. Now we can pass exactly this, because it is, let's speak here about the win-win strategy. So mutual profits.
Because it's very, you can't really, for example, navigate everything in this way. For example, you cannot always automate the urgent on the third principle, not third principle, the third
quadrant, yeah?
Yeah. You can always automate this, or you can always give it to someone else.
Yeah, it's to decrease them. If you decrease this with 30%, it's a 30% win earned energy.
But if you're like...
It's really to invest, so in the time they get less and less these things.
But like if you have a job that you really do not care that much about, and your boss is giving you task and task and task, is that just a sign that you should get another job?
Exactly, or you should be a boss, you should work for yourself, not look for a boss, yeah. Because also this way we can decrease the idea is to make the important things non-urgent, and but still to do them. This will be the ideal, to move more things here and to steal time from here to invest it here. Because we are happy when we do this. When you spend a day doing more of this, as you said, I want to play flute, I want to go to see the sunrise, the sunset. All these things are important to you. They are not urgent, but it may make you happy. And what you say that if you don't value something, you will not do it. So when you say if I am not engaged with the plants, there is no way to do it. This is you, this is your individuality. Believe me, there are so many people which think it's heroistic to offer all their time and energy for things which are not even worth it for nobody, but they take this as for example, to serve their children into activities which are not constructive. They are not even for the well-being of these children. So here we arrive to when we achieve the first, the inner victory. So when we arrive to be proactive, to plan and to prioritize, so we can make the exercises of doing these three practices Stephen Covey is proposing us, we can go on to the outer victories. So it will be win-win. This is the short name. They all have, you remember, this is move or you will be moved. In the beginning, know about the end. Let the important things be first. Choose a win-win cooperation. So we have this. We have lose-lose. Не е важното на мен да ми е добре, важното е на Вуте да му е зле. This is a Bulgarian proverb. It's not important that I am well, it's important that my neighbor suffers. So this is a typical lose-lose strategy. We can have lose-win. So exactly, I will do everything for Boyan, you know, it's my favorite or it's my lover, the love of my life, so I will let him make my life being a hell. Or I can do the opposite. I can make win-lose. So on any price, you, my guy, you will do what I want. They are combined. If one is win-lose, the other is lose-win. But the idea is to search for win-win strategies. So we say, I win, you win, or there is no deal. So better that we sit on the table, we discuss. That's when I propose you join our community. I propose you this, I will be happy, but we're gonna, if you even do one step forward, I will sit on the table, we will speak very long, we will plan everything on a way that we don't want to do compromise. We don't want to live in a relation when I'm losing and you are winning, or you are losing and I'm winning. So it's better to keep being friends, to drink a cup of tea sometime, to have a little chat on the phone, and to don't do things together. It's so good to don't do things together. Because before here I was having 120 chickens, turkeys, 8 goats, 12 horses, and I needed people. And this is the worst, is to need people. So after I started with the integral stuff, I offered all the animals and restarted all the project on a way that I don't need people. The people, they want to come here, and then we start dealing what are the conditions so they come into my center of influence. But even I think the win-win would be the fifth, because of course we can change. I like them to speak here about empathy. So the empathy, it is understand before trying to be understood. So it is really we sit for a conversation, and we often enter in the conversation. Now I will tell Nick, I will convince him into my stuff. We sit on this table, and now you will listen what I want, and we're gonna do what I want. But in fact, we need to reorganize our way of thinking. And when we sit to speak about possible cooperation, first to hear what the person wants, how you see this project in 3, 5, 7, 25, 90 years, and when I want to see your vision, and then I will tell you my vision. And then we search for win-win strategies. And Kovi, it's about paradigma. He begins the book with this, that we have our paradigma. We see the same thing, and we perceive now we are from the same paradigma. So when we see this, we have the same paradigma, what it is. It's a blue non-permanent marker. But you show it to another indigenous people, or we can see completely different things. He told a beautiful story, like he's in the train, sitting and watching his newspaper, Stephen Covey, and there are 2 children which are very nasty. They walk, they take his newspaper, they behave very bad with everybody in the train. On the end, his stand-up, he goes to the father, he say, listen, please take care of these children, they behave, it's not acceptable, what is this, why you do this? And then the father, he just say, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, I just come from the hospital, and very suddenly their mother died, and I did not pay attention, and they don't know what is happening. And then so the paradigma of Stephen Covey completely changes, and instead of arguing and trying to ask something from this person, he asks, hey, can I help you? What can I do for you? Because it's a completely different paradigma. So it's always understand the other before trying to being understood by the others. Very powerful example. So this is the empathy, and then we can talk about win-win strategies. But to refuse to make compromise. If we are already married with 2 kids, we're gonna do compromise. But the idea is before to marry, it's really this. I say to my friends, in 21st century it sounds like a joke, like no sex before the marriage. But it's like I was once in one Vaishnavi community, and as a beginner I was washing dishes, and I was washing dishes near me with one very beautiful young lady covered of tattoos of Krishna, and I could never, she was like a photo model, and we washed the dishes. And if we get married, how are we gonna spend our time? I was like, wow, okay. And it was very interesting conversation. Next day I came again to wash dishes and all this. But just this is a way to speak and to see how we visualize the future before to engage into a project together. This is a good way. So the next will be the synergy. 1 + 1 = 8, of course. So that's what we can achieve, in fact, in this planet. So again, we can 1 + 1 = 0 if we fight against each other. In the simple business, we can do 1 + 1 = 2 or = 3. We shake hands.
What does synergy mean?
Synergy, it is, for example, it's very nice when we do these medicinal herbal mixtures. we have 7 herbal mixtures of teas with herbs. Every mixture is with 9 herbs. One for the breathing system, one for the digestion, for the sexual, etc., etc. And I call Pashkulev, I say, doctor, I don't have any more time. I don't have this herb. What can I do with what I can replace this herb in this tea? And he say, if you remove this herb, you need to remove also this and this, and then you add this and this and this. So it's not synergy, it is how me and you together we can achieve things which will multiply our result. In the herbal medicine it is very widespread. It's known that the herbs, when they are combined,
Teamwork.
the effect is raising.
Science is it as well. It's like when two substances work together and their effect is more than the amount of, like if you have this effect from one substance, this effect of one substance, but if you combine them, it's like this effect. So it's like, we used to say like 1 + 1 is 3 synergy.
If I need to
It's
lift
like,
one pair of stones here to there, and you can lift, I can for 1 hour do this amount, you can for 1 hour do this amount, but if we help each other, so you are here, I just do this, so you just take them, together we will move more stones that separately I can move for 1 hour and you can move for 1 hour. So this is a synergy. The question here is what together we can achieve, which separately we not only cannot, but will not be the same. We don't have the capacity. For example, my story with the videos, I have so many videos materials, I still don't arrive to put them in YouTube. Something is missing, and then Joanna comes and say, okay, I'm gonna do this, and this is the little thing which is making the videos to go online. It has a lot also with the horizontal, that we are different characters. It's used a lot in the corporative world to combine in the team people with specific characters so they can synergetically be a good team. So provide resources, the last habit. So these are the 4, 5, 6 are the outer victory. And the 7th habit, in fact, is also the first habit. It is don't engage before you know that you have the resource to hold this day or this activity. Like don't go in the winter to this peak if you don't have enough power to reach the peak. It is, even though in Bulgaria we are not having, and also in this project, like I start a building, I don't have the money to finish this building.
This is what I was...
And there is the phenomenon of the Bulgarian, that each Bulgarian is spending more money than what it's earning. But these are a little bit specific moments, because we use a lot of the synergy, we use a lot of the empathy, and we just help each other a lot. Yeah. But basically it is first to provide the resource when you're gonna do. So this pass, the 7th habit pass being a first, but also, so before to start all this, be sure that you have a resource to be proactive and to plan and all this. But also it is very important here, the relax. Like after the day, provide enough relax. So the resources, people often mistake, we're gonna speak this with permaculture lecture. The resources are money. It's not money. Resource is time and motivation. This is the biggest resource, is to have time, to have the motivation, to have a good sleep, to have a good relation with the others. This is the bigger resource to empower a person to be productive. Or it is, Kovi is sharing the story about the wood logger who wanted to cut so many trees, and he was so in a rush that he has no time to sharp his axe. So he was cutting, and the axe get less and less sharp, but he wants to not stop to sharp the axe because he wants to cut a lot of trees. So it's not gonna work in one moment. And this also we observe massively in Bulgaria, like people are living like they have 3 years of life. in the front of them.
So Abraham Lincoln gave a similar example that if he has 24 hours to cut a tree, he would spend 22 hours sharpening his axe. So
Exactly.
getting enough resources
Exactly.
so he can do the job for 2 hours.
So, here we have a little enigma. What would be the 8th habit when you speak about balance?
Yeah, I was also thinking like more maybe harmony. You don't need. My grandma used to say, well, it's better in Dutch. Nothing with two in front of it is good. And in Dutch that means te, except for tevreden, which means being content. So everything that has like te in front of it means like it's too much. So you cannot be too happy or too healthy. It's always not good because it's too much.
Give back.
Yeah, we are approaching. All we said here, it belongs to the other hemisphere of the brain. Like all this is thinking, analyzing, planning, be careful and all this. And then to me that will be the intuition. So read the signs, read the little signs of life, accept the feedback of life, be flexible. But all these things, they are good only after we observe the previous. When we follow the 7 habits, then the 8th habit, we can allow ourselves to be intuitive, to believe in the... Because if we decide, okay, I don't follow all of this, and then I open my intuition and whatever the life, divine energy will flow through me, then it's not gonna work.
But I guess your intuition is also just like shaped, because intuition is something based on your experiences. So it's also, if you follow the other 7 habits, then your intuition, I don't think you really can follow your intuition if you don't really have it based on anything, just on pure what you're born with, because those are reflexes and stuff. So really, I think these 7 build your intuition, right?
You meant a lot of this I will ask from Pashkulev. He has he made a graphic about exactly the reflexes, the instincts which build into mind. Eventually this mind can build up into intuition, but as we know from the evolution, what we said from the nest of life, the next level of organization is containing the previous, so the intuition is containing the reason inside.
I was wondering about to provide the resources, because I can imagine, for example, if you want to build a house and people who are like really good at planning, or like maybe people are, well, they just like provide all of the resources, but then life happens. So it's not always good to have all of the resources ready before. It's more about knowing where to get it, right? Because for example, if you would buy all of the materials for the house, so you have like an IKEA box, for example, but then it's gonna snow for like a few weeks, so that's not really, that's what I'm struggling with, like how far should you go with providing the resources?
To me it's really bioenergetics. It's
more
to gather the energy.
Yeah.
It is connections, to know people, to rely on people, to have good connections, to know that your business will run, because this, to invest in this, in relations, in fact.
Yeah, so in that case it would be like more to know where to get everything instead of already gathering all of it so you can do it yourself.
It's really, the knowledge is fundamental, the fundamental value. Because you see, we prepare here, we have, for example, possibility to be autonomous in food, possibility to stay without electricity, fuel, any supply, but then the next plan is to be ready to leave the place. So to don't depend on it, because when a crisis happen, in fact the most valuable is again the knowledge, and that's what you carry with you. That's wherever you go, you have the knowledge, and then you will be valued because of this. And even if we go into the more subtle, when we leave the bodies, we have just this subtle energy of to forge our characters, our values, our principles. This is the real investment which we carry through the lives.
This reminds me of
The 7 habits of the highly efficient souls.
Yeah, actually, I should remember.
What do you say?
This reminds me of I think it's a Bogomil proverb. What you take with you in a shipwreck, it is the only thing that is yours, and this is your spirit and nothing else. But of course this now sounds not as elegant as it sounds when...
What is shipwreck? When the ship sinks?
Yeah. Корабокрушение.
I just wrote down something that I'm the richest that I've ever been simply because I get to experience life. So every moment that we have right now, what you said it a couple of days ago, it resonates with me a lot because basically whatever we can take from this life to the next one is the thing that is worth fighting for, and it is experience. Even if it's bad experience, you learn from it, you grow from it, and then you can apply it afterwards. Doesn't matter if it's in this life or another life. But yeah, you get rich with experience, not with possessions.
So basically there's no such thing as bad experience.
Yeah.
But I think it's more like a guidance, because you can indeed you can skip all the steps and just go, I follow my intuition and I only do what feels good. But I think you also need a more like what's that? Kaders. What's the name in English?
A framework.
Yeah, more like what I want to achieve in this life, or what's there for me.
No, the people who tell me I only do my intuition, I see mainly they're from two categories. Or they are hippies which have problems how to pay their phone bills. All these are from these people who apply exactly the ethics of behavior. Just they behave and they organize super expensive courses and then find some businessmen to pay them. Who feel unity with everything. So these are more or less the like an enlightened person and a real master. They don't behave like this. Just they don't show to everybody that.
Yeah, that reminds me about the book of Yogananda, where he also tells a story that there was this guy who did something kind for a master, and then the master blessed this ordinary guy with like gifts, and then this guy is starting to use this to steal objects. Like he would sit with people and I would see your watch and he could materialize the watch. I can materialize the watch in my hand and then you would leave and then you're like... And then at one point he comes across this old man who was wearing like a golden chain, and then he greets the man and then fairly kind to it and then walks past, and then the old man's like, where's my golden chain? And then he's like, wow. And then that's the old master. He didn't even recognize the old master. And he takes away all of his power again. So that's like when you follow your intuition and you say you're very highly developed because you can materialize things and you have powers, but then you skipped all of the steps before it.
To me, this just isn't intuition.
No, but I mean, what I meant is more like that it's not never about the end goal. it's always about, it's going to be very cheesy, it's about the journey, not the destination. Because like this guy, for example, he skipped the journey and he arrived just at the destination. So he doesn't know what to do with the destination. And it's the same if you're using your intuition without building your intuition, then you don't really know what to do. Sometimes your intuition might be right, sometimes your intuition might be really wrong. So there's no real growth in that. That's more what I meant. Not that this was specific about intuition.
Or how is behaving a real kung fu master when you attack him?
Hiya.
He's running away because he doesn't want to
hurt you.
It's
But I also like the first 3 steps you can do alone, but I think to have success it's also with someone else. You can achieve it alone.
Sorry?
That it's success is a part of it is you can be proactive and you can plan the things and you can indeed just think about how I want other people to see me or what do I want that other people say about me. But I also think you like the mutual profit, like win-win. Have empathy for others, find synergy so that you're you cannot achieve it alone, or is it?
You cannot be successful just by yourself.
I mean, we are social animals. It depends very much. It's really depends, but this will be tomorrow conversation about the level of consciousness. On different level of consciousness, we have different aims. In one stage we want to be with the others, in one stage we don't care if we are with the others or if we are not with the others. It really depends on the life goals.
But is it also the survival and the isolation? Is it also the same?
No. It's I mean that a saint is not needing a family, for example. Like the pyramid of Maslow, when you achieve the things, on the end you become a self-actualizing personality, and you can live without these things. But for where we are, all of us in the group, we are social beings, and anyway, being social, it includes this.
But even if you are a saint or a master or very high level of consciousness, then you're still gonna need empathy and I mean, you're not really so it's even then you cannot really do it by yourself, I guess, right? Because you're not gonna be like, I'm gonna win and you're gonna lose because I'm up on the top of this pyramid.
Yeah, just this is the perceiving from the 7th level of consciousness. When we say I, it means everything and everybody. So how this can person be alone or something? It's
I would like to add something here. So definitely to be successful you need to work in a group. For example, you can start family alone as well, like this is kind of related. But for you to be successful either in starting a family or being successful in whatever you're doing, you have to be able to do your part, and to do your part is to follow some principles. So for example, you can't get in a relationship and say we're gonna love each other if you don't love yourself. And kind of this related, at least for me, to everything. You have to be good in your own so you can be good with someone else.
The holons, we need to build one holon, which is the holon of a person, so this holon can make a part of a bigger holon, the family.
Because I also learned about, if you look at the pyramid, the wide base is that you can take care of yourself, or that you know yourself, that you can be proactive, that you can plan, that you can prioritize in your life. Because if you turn around like this, if you only look at what do others think of me, or then if someone else says something about you, you're like unstable, because it starts with you. So if your base is stable, you can go up. But if you turn around and you're only looking at what do other people think of me, or that you're like insecure about that, then people can play with you, like they can say everything about you. Maybe
these are two type of people. I really invite you in the end of the book, for sure in internet, it's in English also, there is a test, and this test is the results of the test are showing you what is more important for you. in your life. So it can be, for example, the church, the religion, it can be your family, it can be your material well-being, it can be your own pleasure. All these are things which can be more important. Ken Wilber says some people are proclaiming themselves atheists. I don't believe in God. But tell me what's important for you, what is most important, what is the very, very most important to you. This is your God. So, in fact, on the end of when you do this test, in fact, you see that the right way is, the successful way is that the most important for you in your life are the principles. More important than your family, more important than everything are the principles, and following the principles, you achieve success.
Are you supposed to do the test before reading the book or after?
It's on the end of the book, so. Because this will help your family to go in the right way. If your whole family is going on the wrong way, or as you say, if we are too much influenced by the opinion of the other. I see this very well here. He says, people will not love you, but they will respect you. People here, the official authorities, they don't like us very much. But when it's something serious, like to reforest 10,000 trees, they call us because we're gonna do the job, you know. They respect you even though they don't like you. If you want, we can finish with one practice. Pashkulev invented, he's very sweet, he invented an integral prayer, he's calling it. It is a formula we repeat 3 times. So I invite you, if you want, to finish the activity with it. Let me think how it's gonna sound in English. So we can repeat it 3 times, and the formula is the following. Dear all existence, whatever you are, да, каквото и да си, please help me to follow correctly my true path of life, my true path of life, my true path of life. Thank you. So this is the formula, we can repeat it 3 times.
I want to write this down. So
Аз ще я продиктувам на български после, ако искаш.
Okay.
Dear all existence, whatever you are, please help me to follow correctly my true path of life, my true path of life, my true path of life. Thank you. Dear all existence, whatever you are, please help me to follow correctly my true path of life, my true path of life, my true path of life. Thank you. Dear all existence, whatever you are, please help me to follow correctly my true path of life, My true path of life. My true path of life. Thank you.